Hello everyone, this is Carlito Fluito and welcome to another Sunday session of 2022. And the session of today, I love it a lot. I think it's a wonderful session because today we are going to work and explore the world of acting, right? We are going to learn how to believe in our acting. We are going to work with two elements, which are the two elements of the Thomas methodology. So if you are familiar, you know what I'm talking about. Character and interpretation. We are going to learn how to create a character, and then we are going to learn how to interpret and put this character on stage. Get ready, get your notebook, because I have prepared a lot of content for you. And first of all, if this is the first time that you see me, you are like, okay, who is Carleto Fluito? Who's this guy? And I'm going to tell you my story, but not for comparison reasons, just to get to know each other a little bit more. My name is Carleto Fluito, and I help performing artists to improve their well-being. And I help them do it in three areas: professional stability, mental health, and artistic growth. There is this video that you can find on YouTube, and I invite you to go and explore it and find it, where I tell a bit of my story, of my personal development as a psychologist, as a performing artist, and also in the realm of spirituality, right? We are not going to see right now. We are going to just listen to the story. What happened is I was doing a PhD, and then at some point I decided to stop because I wanted to focus on my artistic career as a dancer and physical theater. But that is February of 2020, and you know what happened? A global pandemic, COVID-19. So every theater was closed, every dance studio was closed, everything was cancelled. And in this situation, I was like, okay, I just stopped with my PhD. Now is the moment of starting my career, and no matter what, I'm going to do it. So I was taking a camera and the mobile phone, and I was going to the street, and I was doing these short pieces, these micro performances that I was recording on the street when the streets were empty. And this was the beginning of Raining Rosas, and the also more deep exploration of the Thomas methodology and physical theater. After some months, I started presenting my first 20-minute solo of testosterone in English. I did it in Brussels, and then I created a 1 hour version of testosterone that I presented on Spain. And after that, I was like, okay, I finally did it. I created these solos. So now is the moment of taking one step more and going beyond Europe. And I moved to Africa, and I've been living in Zambia, in Lusaka, during 2021, and I was meeting local artists, local performers, and I was understanding better how things work over there. And yeah, the clear intention of making a theater over there, an artistic residence, and to invite people from Europe so then they can experience what I experienced, and they can help also the local performing artists to explore, expand, and grow. And if you want to know more, for your information, I wrote a book, right? So if you are interested and you like writing, 13 letters since 2013. I go deeper into my story, and I'm exploring three existential questions that you are probably having at some point during these years, because those are the emerging adulthood period of your life, where you are exploring your identity, who are you, you are exploring your relationships, like who can you share your life with, and finally finding out how to give meaning to our lives. So if you're interested in these questions, go ahead and go to Amazon, because you're going to love this book, right? And if you come live on Sundays, because this sessions happens every Sunday of the year, you can experience this full life experience where I ask you specifically, what is your name? Where are you from? What do you practice? What are you passionate about? What are you having difficulties with, and what do you value, right? So because you're watching the recording version, I invite you to stop the video and write in the comments the answers, so then we can get to know each other. And finally, answer, how are you feeling right now, with this tool called the Mood Meter. And now let's go with the topic of today, which is about believing your acting. And we're going to start with the warm-up, as always, with the story of neurochemicals. Why neurochemicals? Because of this, right? So I started in physical theater with this piece called Kafka. Gregor Samsa, actually. So Gregor Samsa is the story of the metamorphosis of Kafka. So what I was doing, I was using the text And over the text of the book, I was performing this first scene when Gregor Samsa gets to know that he is a beetle, right? This big bag, and he cannot move, and he has to roll one side to the other. And I choose unconsciously this topic because at some point I feel identified with the character, right? Because, it's like this character that doesn't fit so much into society, or that he cannot be himself, and then he's struggling. And this was already where I was connecting so deeply, and I had read this book several times, and this part I was almost memorized the story, right? And yeah, it was for me easy to get into the character and then perform, no? And it was very clear on the face, as you can see on the picture, right? How this confusion and fear and mixed with weirdness was easy for me to get into that mood and then to enact and to interpret that character, right? Years later, this was before leaving my PhD, so you can see on the picture like how much strength and anger and rage I had inside. This was a freestyle battle that I got to win, and partly, I mean, I won because of the interpretation, right? Like there were dancers way better than me, and more skilled than me, much more on point, much more like more difficult techniques and tricks, but I was living it more. I was feeling it more. I was much more in the mood, much more in the intensity of the moment, right? So much so that at some point, yeah, like I took off my t-shirt and I started like going crazy with a dubstep song, and I won this battle, and then I won the whole championship because of the presence and the intensity and the feeling of emotion. So this is something that we're going to work today. How important it can be that when you're performing, you are really into whatever you are. Because when you are there, like people feel it, and you just you have them. You have their attention, you have their intensity, you have all the emotions of the moment. The third picture is about testosterone. This is the 1 hour version in Spain. So the point here is it was mostly biographical, right? So it was sort of easy to explore deeply, to understand deeply the character and their motivation and their intentions. Because at the end of the day, it was younger versions of myself, right? And the good feedback that I received with this piece is like at some point, one of the people of the audience, they told me like, I wanted to stand up and slap you on the face and then leave. So that means like people were seeing beyond the performer, they were seeing the character. And that's because the interpretation is good and the character is solid, right? Which is something that we're going to look now in the next slides. And the last picture, this one is Daniel with the red t-shirt. This is oxytocin, right? So the neurochemicals here are like testosterone is one neurochemical, oxytocin is another one, and I plan to do more performances with more neurochemicals, right? And this is the first time that I'm fully directing, right? So I'm not performing, I'm just directing the piece, and it's been a challenge, right? Because it has some autobiographical components, the piece, mm, and now it's about how to take the character, how to take the interpretation outside of another person that hasn't experienced this life, right? So I'm encountering my own challenges and my own limits through this, and it's a work that I love and that I'm exploring and that I'm growing a lot. So just to show you that you can start with a solo that you didn't write, or is not your own text, and then you can finish with other people doing your own text, right? If that's the way you want to follow, and that's the path, is extremely interesting and a huge path of growth. So let's go deep into this topic of today, and we are going to start as always with playing camp because we are going to do a quick game, and this quick game is very easy. So the first thing that I'm going to ask you is to have a line on mind, which can be a presentation. My name is Carlos. I am 29 years old, and I am currently in Estonia. And boom, this is it. So we are going to play to imitations and stereotypes, right? Because it's the game that we do when we are kids, and it's one of the classic games. So with this same sentence, which is an introduction, how good and cute little old grandma that is so kind, so nice, how good she said it. Like I am Carlos. Like I'm Carlos. I'm 29 years old and I'm living in Estonia, right? So then you do it, and this is already like one character and one interpretation. And then you move to this drunk guy that most of us know from Simpson. Uh, I forgot the name. So yeah, how a drunk person would introduce themselves, right? So I'm Carlos and I am 29 years old and I'm from Estonia, right? I'm living in Estonia. You see, different character, different interpretation. And finally, we can get a superhero like Superman and go like, I am Carlos and I am 29 and I am living in Tallinn, Estonia. You see, like totally different attitudes, right? So now, do it yourself because then when you do it, you feel it, you learn it. What changed? That's the key of the game, right? Like, how was my voice different? How was your voice different? How was your posture different? How was your vocabulary, your emotions, right? So even the vocabulary changed, and even the intonation, and so many other things that you can watch on the session about text, for example. But the emotions, what was the feelings with each of these interpretations, right? Because the drunk guy is confused, but the grandma is like cute. It wants to help you, it wants to make you feel good. And the other one is like proud with the superhero, right? So this is the what you can explore. And we are going to go to the next session, which is the meditation. And we are going to reconnect with ourselves, but also with our future character, right? Because at the end of the day, we are playing characters. So I invite you to strengthen your colon, breathe in deeply, and with the breath out, let your eyes close and relax the body. Breathe in deeply, and with the breath out, relax your mind. Breathing in deeply, and with the breath out, feel yourself relax and focus on your center. And keep on breathing deeply and fully. And first, we are going to connect with the character that we are right now. And we are going to ask this question about who am I? And we can answer this question with different adjectives, different labels that we put to ourselves. I am a man, I'm a woman, I am young, I'm old, I am this age, that age. I am strong or weak, or I am a dancer, or I am a circus artist, or I am an actor or an actress. You just keep on answering this question of who am I with different adjectives and notice your body, notice how these different adjectives feel. And then we can move to the other question, the how am I? Like, am I a happy person? Or I get angry? Or I am sociable? Or I am extroverted? Or I am hard worker and focused? Or maybe it's dreamy and distracted? So how am I? And let the answers come to your mind one by one. Notice these answers, how they feel in your body, how they feel in your emotions. And breathing deeply, and with the breath out, with each exhalation, you're going to let these ideas, these labels to go outside of yourself. And these adjectives, they can go also outside of yourself. So you let them go little by little, you let them go, you let them go. And from this space of emptiness, there is more space for you to focus on your future character, your future self. and the things that you want to be and you want to do. And you can ask who I want to be. Do you want to be a director, a choreographer? You want to be performing in big theaters, or you want to be with a specific company, or you want to be teaching? Who I want to be. So keep on asking this question of who do you want to be, observing what is the answer that appears. Interiorizing these answers into your body, noticing how the body responds to this information, and then we can move to the how I want to be. You want to be a happy person, you want to be a focused person, you want to be maybe just an adventurous person, a person that doesn't worry. So how do you want to be? And keep on exploring this question, how I want to be. Let the answer arrive to you and notice your body with the breathing. Notice how this new information gets inside your body, in the cells, in the muscles, inside your brain. You breathe in, introducing this information inside you. Now with the breathing, we're going to focus on our mind, on our body. Breathing out, relax. Breathing in, focus on the air around you, in the room, on the surface where you are seated. Breathing out, relax. And last in breath, feeling awake. And whenever you want, slowly let your eyes open, little by little. Welcome back. How was this exercise for you? How is different the person that you are now from that one that you want to be, and how it feels, this character, like your current self, how it feels, and how it feels this future character, the future self, right? Go ahead and type it in the comments. And if you like this type of sessions, please subscribe to the channel because it means so much for me. And it helps me to keep on sharing all this knowledge because now we are moving to the theory part, alright? And in the theory, I want to inform you that there is another session about planning new creation where I share with you the Thamos methodology. And the Thamos methodology, as you can see, is a structured and organized way of developing new creations and improving your skills, where you can find text, acting, movement, objects, scenography. Thamos. Right in the text, there is already one session in YouTube that you can check where you can find the written and the spoken different components, these elements. And then acting with the two subcategories, which is the character and the interpretation, which is the ones that we are going to work today. And if you want to know in depth how is the Thamos methodology, you can purchase this online course, which has a lot of very valuable content that will give you a lot of clarity about what is the Thamos methodology and how you can start applying it, right? And it's only 15 euros, so you can learn so much about it just for 15 bucks, which is the price of one dance class. So go ahead, the link is in the description and enjoy it. So let's go. So we start with the character, right? So first of all, I was asking you like who you are and how you are during the meditation because one of the key features and the key adjectives that arrive are these big five components, which is a personality theory, where we have this characteristic, right? So you can be open to new experiences. You can be a person that is curious, that is creative, that is explorative. You can be also conscientiousness, which is you can be focused, you can be disciplined, you can be hardworking, you can be lazy, right? Extraversion So you can be like very sociable, very cheerful, want to talk with everyone, very talkative, or you can be more introverted. And you can be agreeable when you are a kind person, generous, you are humble, or you can be very arrogant, right? And finally, is the neuroticism. If you are more worried and things can happen and you live with fear, or you live with ease and relax. So you and your character, how are you? And this is the question, right? Like how and who. So using this big five personality, you can have already like a very nice structure to build your characters in a way that they are more believable. Then the values. If you know, I mean, if you have noticed, I always ask the values at the beginning of each session because this gives a lot of information about which type of human being you are and what is important for you. So in this structure of SWOT, the values of SWOT, then you can see like you have openness to change, where is people that value and it's important for them to be free, to direct their life, and to find stimulation, new ideas, right? You as an artist, you're probably quite high in openness to change. Also, many artists, they are self-transcendent. So they want to go beyond themselves, right? That's why we create in so many occasions. That's why you might have this universalism where you have like equality to all human beings and also benevolence. You are an honest person and you're a good person, right? Something that is probably not aligned with you as an artist is the conservation, which is tradition and conformity, which is more of a military, right? Like someone that is working on the army, they like tradition, they like order, they like rules, and they conform with normal things. They have safety, and they get it, which is the other value, the security, right? If I'm safe, then I'm okay. In many occasions, it's the opposite of openness to change, where you are looking for new stimuli, new experiences. And finally, we have self-enhancement, which is this power, like the growth, right? Growth mindset, like achieving new things, growing, accumulate wealth, and have good experiences life, which is hedonism. So you and your character, using this structure, then you can build an even deeper and more powerful, solid, believable character. And finally, and now we move to interpretation actually. So for interpretation, I like to use this scheme because here we can understand what makes a believable interpretation, right? It's not only the words you say, it goes beyond. To really believe what you are doing, to really be what you are doing, you need to work not only on the behavior, what you do, but even the thoughts, like how your character is thinking, and you, when you are making the performance, you have to think as your character, and you have to feel as your character. And then when all of this is happening at the same time, then people will start believing you. And going one step deeper, then you can think about yourself and your future. That's why we did the future self. So what are the intentions of this character, right? And how can you manifest these intentions? And then what is the relationship with others? And what are the core beliefs and how these core beliefs manifest in the interpretation, right? So that's the point of interpreting. It's not doing, it's not acting, it's becoming with the whole being. Not only with words, not only with acts, with everything at the same time. And if you want to go deeper into the exploration, then you can work with emotions, right? And this is a huge thing that we are not going to go over now. But you see like how starting on these basic 7 emotions that are there, like you can be fearful, angry, disgusted, sad, happy, surprised, and this but yeah, wonderful. So from these 7 emotions, then you can have like this huge variety of feelings and states, which will give you as an actor or as an interpreter a lot of nuances and a lot of qualities that will make your performance really, really believable. And we go now with the boot ground and the practice exercises. So first of all, telling your story, very nice session to work on your character, right? Because every character is made out of stories. You're made out of stories. Everybody does. So this continuous reincarnation. So when you are working on your characters, when you are developing characters, go and watch this session because it's gonna give you the tools you need to really write and communicate and share the story that lies behind this character, right? So who is your character? And then you need to describe their identity which we saw already, the personality and the values, as well as traumas, habits, aspiration, and so many other things that are going to make very, very clear who is your character. Yeah. And for the interpretation, the best you can do is emotional training. For that, I have some meditations on the YouTube channel of Raining Rosas about how to transition from one emotion to another, because this is one is going to prepare your body and your being to be able to really go deep into the emotion and then manifest the emotion and show the emotion. And people will connect with this emotion, right? But if you are afraid of your own emotions, so you don't feel certain emotions, then you need to train so much in your emotions. So emotional training will be amazing for you because it's this emotional accessibility of changing emotions really quick, really easy. As well as if you see the session about text of Raining Roses also from the Sundays, you have so much valuable content about how to speak your text, how to write your text in a way that is aligned to the character that you are creating, right? And empathy. Empathy is key both for the pain and for the pleasure. If you are afraid to be empathetic, then you cannot be a good performer, right? So how would it feel to, for example, be one of the poorest beings on the planet, you know, like living in these huts in the middle of rural areas in developing countries, three kids, no electricity, no drinkable water, right? So how does it feel that? And how would be one day in the life of this type of human being? And then we can go to the opposite, like with wealth. How would it feel to be on a nice yacht, eating, drinking, and then with your friends, having fun, everything, right? So how is one day in the life of this person? And this empathy is going to allow you to explore and to be open to to become so many characters and so many different states of being, right? And if you want to go deeper into acting, there is this online course that I created 1 year ago called Endless Masterpieces, where there is one full week exclusively about acting. And there is more than 5 hours of content, exercises, strategies, meditation, all of them specifically to develop your skills as an actor, as interpretation skills. And as you saw in this session, it's organized in the same way. So one full day is half an hour for theory, only for theory, where we explore stages and roles. Another half an hour of theory only for interpretation, right? Then we go for the warm up, and then we have specific exercises and some training for character. Hello, nice to meet me. So we discover ourselves. And for the interpretation, the get the looks, right? So how to start getting into our bodies ready to act. Then we have boot ground where we are doing like very specific strategic and focus exercises to improve our character. So what did I have for lunch 47 days ago, right? So we get very specific. And interpretation 43 in just one phase, where we train and we warm up all the muscles of our face, right? And then on Thursday we go for playing camp and we focus on to be or not to be. So we are going to do many different types of games to go to and explore different characters. And in the interpretation, the magic of becoming, we are going to do a lot of exercises, right? Like improvisation and how to transform ourselves to one place to another. And finally, on Friday, we are going to do the cool down, which is the solidifying my identity in the character, where we get very clear on what this character is, and the interpretation, how to have these moments behind the curtain before going into the stage, so we can relax ourselves, focus ourselves, and do an amazing performance. And if you're interested in participating on this specific training course, I'm not getting a lot of performers because I want to work specifically on each of them and I want to guide them through this process. So if you're interested on participating on this Endless Masterpiece acting class, leave a comment or send a direct message to Renin Rosas saying that you saw this video and that you want to you want to go deeper into this training together with me, because this is going to be like a transformative experience for you, right? So having said this, we're going to reach to the end, to consolidation, where I'm inviting you to write down your character. What is your first character? How is this person? So the personality, identity, we were seeing this. And second, do the empathy exercise. So imagine one day on the life of this specific character. How is it from the moment that they wake up to the moment they go to sleep? And if you want to go deeper and you want to really learn and consolidate your acting skills, then Endless Masterpiece is going to be an amazing experience for you. As always, I like to communicate what are the Reina and Rosa's help and services, because I know that you are a dancer and that you are a circus artist or an actor and you're working a lot in your body. But what is happening with professional stability? What is happening with mental health? What is happening with your artistic growth, right? So from Reina and Rosas, we are offering many resources for you, which are online courses, individual sessions, group sessions. We have talks for the schools where we are offering so many help, so much possibility for you and your fellow performing artists to improve their skills. And as I mentioned, then you can go ahead and join into this training, which is going to be a revolutionary and an amazing growth experience and learning for you. For the next session, which I fully recommend, we are going to learn about how is life as a freelancer, right? So it's gonna be amazing. And if you are a dancer or a freelancer that you're traveling to different cities, that you're trying different cities, this is gonna be an amazing session for you with a lot of very practical exercises to start a new life in a new city, right? So we are going to learn so much about starting with ourselves. And now, as always, it's your turn. First of all, who do you want to invite for the next session, or who do you want to share this video with? Because I'm sure that you have a friend that is struggling with acting, that has some blockages, and this session can be the beginning of a huge transformation for them. So go ahead and share this video, or just tell them to send a message to Rain in Rosas. If you have any other question, please leave it in the comments below. And as always, I'm very, very happy of receiving your feedback. So you can share what is your emotional state, what do you have liked the most of this session, what's the most valuable thing for you, what do you want for the next session, and what topic would you like to cover in the future, because there are plenty of topics that I have to fill along this year. If you are following René Rosas, you might have skipped one of these sessions in April. We were speaking about teamwork, we were speaking about positive emotions, today was about believing in your acting, and the next one is about life as a freelancer. So very briefly, this is what we covered today. We tell the story of neurochemicals, that is this evolution from Kafka to oxytocin. In the playing camp, we were playing to imitations and stereotypes and how easy are them to manifest and how they affect our acting. We reconnected with the new and the future character that we are creating. In the theory, we saw about personality and we saw about how to interpret with our whole being. And finally, in the bootground, we enter into contact with this daily life of a character and how to change our emotions to fully interpret them. Thank you very much for your attention. That was everything from me, from Galito Fluito. Send a DM to René Rosas because I'm here to help you. Thank you so much and enjoy your week. Bye bye.